Hello class, in this tutorial I would like to show you how you can use the remainder operator to find out the even numbers, for instance, and how you can use it and how you create and how you capture the result of a remainder. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and we're going to name this remainder test. Okay, next, and then we're going to use the empty project as usual. Finish, and then we're going to go add new item. We're going to be using C++. Test, you can name it something else if you wish to. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the directive include and we're going to be using IOStream. Then we're going to be using standard output. We'll declare it here. We're going to be declaring our standard output. We're going to be declaring our end of line. So once we have done that, next thing we're going to declare our main function, and we're going to put the bracket always. We're going to say begin main function, then we're going to close the bracket, press semicolon, end of main function. Next, so again, in this code, what we're trying to do is we're going to create a simple program where we'll ask the user to enter a value, and we're going to take that value and we're going to use the remainder operator to find the even numbers, for instance, or by how many we can divide that value by. So with that said, in this case we're going to be using a for loop statement and an if statement. So the first thing is we're going to declare our input variable, and we'll initialize with 0, and we're going to declare our result variable, which we're going to hold the result of the remainder calculation. We're going to create our for loop. So before doing the for loop, we're gonna write a statement to ask the user enter a value. We are using the insertion. Next, we're going to be asking the user the extraction method so the user value input is extracted and placed into input variable. So now, the next item, we're going to create our loop statement. Let's just do 100 iteration. We're gonna see, as you can see, the compiler is marked this as red. The reason is that we didn't declare the I. So in this case, we need to declare it. It should be int. So in this case, as you can see, the compiler does not complain. So we need to put our bracket, always put a comment, for loop starts end of for loop, always put a semicolon. Okay, so now we have our for loop statement here. Within this for loop statement, we're going to use the result variable that we created equals, we're going to take the input, this is our remainder operator, by I. So it takes the value of the input and it divides it by 1, and the remainder, if the remainder is 0 or not 0, we're going to do something. In this case, if it's 0, then we want a statement to be printed on the screen. So we're going to use the if statement. If result equals 0, then we're going to, our bracket again, begin of if, end of if. So in this case, if it's 0, we're going to print a statement on the screen. And we're going to say the remainder is 0 when the input is divided by I. So again, you can see the compiler is complaining something's not right. So we forgot the open bracket and close the black bracket. So our code is complete. Let's go review it quickly. So we create a program, we put our include directive, we include our IO stream library when we declare our instead output, input, and end of line. We create our function, we create an input, a variable, and result, and we initialize it to 0, and we are asking user to enter a value. Then we use the extraction as standard input to obtain the value of from the keyboard and put it in the input state variable. Then we create a loop that starts from 1 and it goes about 100 iteration, and then increase the counter by 1, I plus 1 plus 1. And then we have the result. We capture the result here using the percentage sign, basically that represents the remainder operator. Okay. So then if it's 0, and it's going to print a statement on the screen. If it's not, there is no remainder. After dividing input by the value of the for loop statement, then it just escapes that. So let's go ahead and run this program. Control F5. Yes. Now let's go say I'm going to enter 200. 200, it's going to go through the loop and only prints those values that when it's divided, the remainder is 0. So in this case, if 200 is divided by 1, of course there's no remainder. If it's by 2, by 4, by 5, by 8, 10, 20, 25, 40, 50. So this is an example code that basically shows you how you can use the remainder operator to write a simple C++ code, and that's going to help you with your assignment, where you can use this method to print the even number of the characters. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful with your assignment.